name's Engineer Ghana Sunday, and I live in Patigi. I was working with former defaulted NADA, and when NADA was scrapped, we were now fixed to a proper ministry, which I was one posted to Federal Ministry of Agri's Rural Development. And from there we started, and I end up retired 5 years ago with Federal Ministry of Agriculture. And I am now in Patigi, wanting to enumerate some problems in agriculture and where we are in agriculture in Patigi as a case study. Now, Patigi as a town located in Kwara State in northern part of Nigeria. At the same time, 95% of population of this community were farmers, while just maybe 5% were office workers. And before I go further, Patigi comprises of 3 main districts, which are, we have Pada district. At the same time, we have Lade district and Patigi district itself. Now, we grew some plants like cassava, maize, rice, guinea corn, groundnut, melon, watermelon, sugarcane, and so on and so forth. But today, proudly, I will tell everybody in Kwara State that, or even in Nigeria, that Patigi produce much more tons of rice than anywhere in this very country. And for that, we are proud for that. But yet, however, we still have problem with government at the same time ourselves. Why government? Government refuses sometimes to bring input to us at the right time. Because in agriculture, anything starts from January, February, March, we are now preparing for rainy season. And without monetary or tractorization, we can't do anything. And that lessens our farm's produce. That is one factor that hinders us in producing much crops enumerated before. Second, government policy. Somebody who now will borrow you money for farm preparation, by March, the money should have been, and the inputs, something like fertilizer, chemicals, and insecticide should be in our possession. So that you find out, instead of using just hoes and cutlasses that our forefathers used before to produce a very little tons of produce, we now have very bumper harvest if these things are with us in early stage. Those are the little hinges we have in farm produce. Secondly, I will talk of transportation. After producing all these crops in our farms, transportation to market becomes very hard to these our peasant farmers. That is, I'm talking of feeder roads from the town to where the crops are produced. We have less good networks in our area. Now I will talk finally on this storage. Storage is main problem we have in agriculture, which is a natural thing everywhere. We don't know how to store our crops. And why? Government should build these big barns or silos to all strategic areas where, like Patigi I'm talking about, we should have very big silo where after producing, government now will buy in tons from the local farmers and keep for the harvesting time when maybe the supply to all farmers in the country. We talk of insecticide like birds. Up till now, we find it difficult to take care of when these our crops, like especially rice, become about to be harvested. We have problem of these birds. We don't have enough nets to take care of them, and it has become problem for us because these our small boys or ladies that we go and drive them, this educational background stop them of having that asset to go and drive birds for us. The old ones cannot do that when it's raining. It's only this our young ones. So we are appealing to federal government, state government at the same time, the local government. Now, for example, the most major problem we have, even to my local government, we don't have one single functioning tractor. Talk less of the other invariants. Like Lade, early 60s, they are introduced to tractorization. And that is why in Lade, they advance in using tractors. Their farms were divided into hectares. But Dukulade that supply water to farm this rice has been collapsed for more than 10 years ago. This cannot be done by individuals. Even state government cannot take care of that Dukulade now. Because I was once, when I was with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, I was once sent to come and assess that job. But to our condition we saw there, is only federal government, the Water Resources Ministry and River Basin that can save us. So we are pleading to federal government via the Ministry of Water Resources and River Basin to rehabilitate Lade Duku water project. You know, the water refused to flow into the real channels because the dam has been collapsed for very long years ago. So we are appealing on behalf of Patigi local government that federal government to see into our this Dukulade projects. And at the same time, we found out that government policies, that is the politicians, like today, and yesterday, we were lucky the state government gave us some individual farmers grouped. We are grouped into 10 people now group 10 to form a group. So we are given 3 fertilizers, 2 chemicals, and other inputs. Like today, we are given rain boots and spraying can, you know, to encourage farmers to farm. But still yet, we still need tractor to pulverize our feed so that we have a bomber harvesting. And those are the little. And we still have some of these, maybe 5% of the local government who are fishermen. They need nets. They need this flying boats for to traveling on this our water, because we have advantage of having this river Niger across the Patigi. We have river Campes and some big streams that contribute or attribute to the flow rate of river Niger, which we use to grow this our rice product. Because now we've now even went for this dry season farming. So rice have no season now in Patigi. Both dry and wet season, they still produce rice. But due to large population that consumes rice now, it seems as if we are not doing anything. So we still need more hands from federal government, state government to increase our rice production. We plant groundnut seriously at Bada site than anywhere. And Bada has a very rich land than anywhere on the local government. So they now give them that chance. Bada district, I'm saying now, particularly, they produce much maize guinea corn and G-nut, that is groundnut, than Patigi and Lade. But in melon, when you talk of melon, Lade is a home of melon, planting melon, because of the nature or the structure of their land. So all in all, I am saying in total, Patigi produce more rice than any part of the state in Kwara State. That is why I talk much on rice. So we still need this our grinding machine, the stoner, and maybe rice mill, a very big rice mill, so that they will have a very fine package, and it brings even employment to this our young graduate. I've been telling many of them that not everybody will have this white collar not job. They can go on farming. I'm now a retired, a very senior in management class, but I still go to farm. Even today, I've been to farm. Yes, I can't stay idle, doing nothing. And this is why even our youth now enter into problems of stealing, roaming about, doing nothing. So we engage them. Federal government can do that via the local government. They should set up big farms for these unemployed candidates. They can do better in farm. If you don't have a government job, you can go on agriculture, self-employed. We have this our natural ponds that after maybe in dry season now we enter into this our natural pond, catch fish, sell in where they live near water, and we train some of them how to even create these just small places in their homes, dug a place, keep this fingerlet fish or this tilapia zili. We can train them and produce much fish to feed the nation. But they still need found, that is money. You can't start certain things without money. That is why I am appealing to federal government, state government, and local government to go into grassroots. Now I was talking on politicians. Sometimes they are tailoring, sharing fertilizer, sharing inputs, and they don't have even a small garden where they plant even this efo. I use that language, efo. But see people in rural places, they have big farms, but they don't have access to this fertilizer and what they share. So we are appealing to these our politicians to take care of their subjects. It's people that elect them there. This is what I'm bringing out. They should consider those who line up that day, and choose them and elect them. They should consider them. I am appealing to them. They should consider people in the grassroots, because they are the people we use. They are the laborers. Already they know they are not fixed in any job. They are not fixed. They go on farming. Very little are teachers in secondary school and primary schools, and very few work in local government. But the rest, 95%, are purely farmers, both fishery and food producing people. We have a lot of cassava, like when we talk of Tankpafu and other places, they produce much cassava, but we don't have these camp factories that will produce gari. Assuming the cassava they plant, federal government or state government now will bring a very big factory or company to them. It will not be a wastage. Sometimes these Fulanis disturbing us in our farms. That is another big factor we are facing. Federal government should now create a grazing center in each local government, so that these Fulanis will be packed there. They don't disturb the farmers. So we don't have head collusion with Fulanis. Federal government can do that for us via maybe state government, because state government has influence to their farmers. They are they contact their farmers quickly than the federal government. Via maybe local government, they can link that to local government at the same time. Like in when we started in Nanda, I've cleared almost 6 miles, 500 hectares at Tankpafu. We started with this Brazilian cashew. The cashews are there now. They've been enjoying that dividends of government, federal government. But we don't have extracting machine taking care of those juice. They waste the water, and they just sell the crops to the public in cheaper rate. Assuming they have where they produce this cashew nuts, we produce this brake pad, indelible ink from cashew. We produce this brake fluid from cashew, and when they are old, we cut them to use them as fuel, firewood. But in all, awareness is in them, but financially, we don't have people that will bring these cashew extractor machines to produce much and even encourage this young men to have job in those places. It will aid federal government themselves to work in these factories. So those are the hinges we have in agriculture in particular government. And that is why mostly I talk much on rice, because we produce enough rice to take care of Nigeria.
To talk about rice,
Yes.
um, is the state government aware that we produce enough rice that can even fuel the whole nations? And how can they be of help?
They are aware. And that is why we have this Ministry of Agrics, headquarters at Ilorin. We have ADP. They are aware. And presently, Fadama, they are ground now, sharing materials to farmers to prepare them for this season. And they knew Patigi is the most serious place where they produce rice. And that is why now I've told you, even today, Friday, they've give us the spring can, the rain boot, and even nose mouse, because it's for the hazard we have in spraying, because our people technically they don't know how to use a spraying can. And when spraying, they don't know this thing. In little it accumulates gets into our nose, and eventually kills the systems. So we are given the protecting machineries like the cloth coats. We are given today to prepare us fully for this season. Some people were given fertilizers yesterday and chemicals, which in fact they've done a very good job to us. We pray government will be doing that for us for a very long time. They've done a very fine job to us. They know we are leading in producing rice, which can take care of even Nigeria as a whole, in particular local government. And we thank our heads, like the emirs. They encourage farmers. In all these districts, we have district heads, we have senior village heads, which he calls often to enlighten them that nobody should be lazy, because free mind they cause problems. When you are free, the mind is free, there is tendency for you to create anything, you talk anyhow. But when you are busy, in fact, when you come back from the field, you'll be tired and you directly go to sleep. So our heads, that is the Echu, the emirs, the Egbas, and which I call the district heads, in fact, they call meetings often to our this environment in Patigi local government encourage us. And farming is a danger venture. Sometimes we have shortage of rain. You have less harvest. Sometimes River Niger overflow, flood. We have total failure some years. But since we were born here, there is nothing we can do. And the federal government, we are appealing to them to create these dams to each locations. Or we have what we call those days, when I was in ministry, we call it water harvesting dams, to collect these waters so that we can use for irrigation purpose, not to wait for the rain. So they can do this in strategic areas for us, so that we don't have total failure. And population hinders what we produce. Before independence, we are less than 20 million. But now, today, we will be talking of 270 million people in Nigeria. When I talk Patigi, I sometimes include Edu, because we are baby from Edu, they create Patigi. Like Kogi was carved from Kwara State, from Dekina, Ankpa, Ida, Lokoja, Adankolo. We are all, even Kaba, Egbe, Egan, you talk of Abuji, we are all to Kwara State before, which we produce in fact enough food. And even in Patigi local government, I should talk of even yam. We produce yam in some areas, like in some places like Lade district. They have rich lands there, which some of them produce yam, which can even take care of the local government itself. And when we talk of market, in fact, we have very big market at Patigi. But even bank is a problem. You see every market, you'll be hearing news of, say, they lost money. Assuming after selling, we have this microfinance and other banks, they lost their money there. They train them how to keep money in banks. They don't carry money to home where they use it in lavishly. They don't know how to keep money. You see, so those are the little problems we have in agriculture. You see, roads is very important. When you produce cassava, trailer cannot go there. It will be just born every year. Wasted. Sometimes government now will promise after you produce cassava, they will buy from us. Small time you find them, they will not come. And they are not aware of what we call fire tracing. Fire will just enter into some farms due to some these hunters set fires in looking for these rabbits and other things. Burn everything. Assuming state government or federal government purchase this thing from them, it will not be like that. Some will now take Maga to his farm. He will not allow anybody to come and burn it. You understand what I'm bringing out? You see, and it will bring even employment. It will bring employment. Because you are a Magad, you will be paid to take care of another man's farm or a pond set in farms. You collect Magads to take care of it. It's part of employment. So those are the hinges, those are the problems in agriculture we have.